Life is a journey with many ups and downs, difficulties, and victories. Our own strengths and weaknesses are always at odds with one another. Although everyone wants to have a resilient and purposeful life, there are certain habits that frequently prevent us from realizing our full potential. We will examine 8 weakening habits in this life-changing adventure and discover how to overcome them with the help of Stoic principles. Zeno of Citium developed the ancient Greek philosophy of stoicism early in the 3rd century BC. It provides us with ageless guidance that can help us deal with the challenges of contemporary life. Stoicism encourages us to be resilient and graceful in the face of life's unavoidable hardships, to nurture virtues like courage, knowledge, and self-discipline, and to concentrate on the things we can control. As we examine these 8 behaviors, keep in mind that the first step to change is becoming self-aware. We may start the process of replacing these habits with Stoic principles that will enable us to live a life of strength, purpose, and inner serenity by first recognizing and acknowledging these behaviors inside ourselves. First on the list is putting off things. According to Epictetus, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. For many of us, procrastination is a habit that involves delaying obligations and chores. It erodes our willpower, impedes our advancement, and eventually costs us valuable time that could be used for important pursuits and personal development. Carpe diem, or seizing the day, is the ancient panacea for procrastination. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on living in the now and seizing opportunities. On the other hand, procrastination stems from dissatisfaction with the task at hand or worry about the future. We need to develop a Stoic attitude and constantly remind ourselves that this is the only moment we genuinely control in order to break this habit. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus counseled us to let go of things outside of our control and concentrate on what is. Fixing on the possible results or the challenges of a work instead of just doing it can lead to procrastination. We can escape the bonds of procrastination by embracing the Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes the process over the result. Set modest, achievable goals at first, then make a constant effort to achieve them. Accept the discomfort and uncertainty of the here and now, as it is in these times of difficulty that we mature and get the fortitude to take on more difficult endeavors. Recall that time is a limited resource and that every day you waste is time that you will never get back. This will enable us to live strong, meaningful lives filled with inner peace. Habit 2. Talking badly to yourself. According to Marcus Aurelius, our life is what our thoughts make it. The language we use to ourselves has a significant effect on our sense of confidence, self-worth, and general well-being. The bad habit that weakens us by undermining our self-belief and keeping us from reaching our full potential is negative self-talk. Stoicism empowers us to take charge of our thoughts and swap out negativity for reason and compassion for ourselves. One of the most well-known ancient thinkers and Roman emperors, Marcus Aurelius, highlighted the need of keeping an eye on our inner monologue. He held that our thoughts influence how we perceive the outside world, so we should make an effort to have a constructive and sensible outlook. Start by objectively examining your thoughts in order to counteract negative self-talk. When self-doubt or self-criticism starts to creep in, recognize it and rationally confront these ideas. Consider whether these ideas are supported by facts or are just the result of your own insecurities and anxiety. By treating ourselves with the same compassion and understanding that we would extend to a friend going through a comparable circumstance, Stoicism teaches us to cultivate self-compassion. Consider how you might grow and learn from your failures rather than criticizing yourself for perceived inadequacies or errors in judgment. By substituting Stoic concepts of self-compassion and reason for negative self-talk, you will develop inner fortitude and resilience that will enable you to handle life's obstacles with poise and assurance. Habit 3. Steer clear of obstacles. Be willing to accept that other people find you stupid and unintelligent if you want to grow as a person. Staying in your comfort zone and avoiding challenges is a habit that stunts your growth and potential. It keeps you from growing in bravery, patience, and situational flexibility. Stoic philosophy encourages us to view discomfort and adversity as chances for personal growth. Epicurus thought that overcoming obstacles and stretching our limits are frequently the first steps toward personal development and self-mastery. It's believed that overcoming obstacles is crucial to one's growth as a person and advancement. According to Stoic philosophy, we can improve our morality, cultivate patience, and learn more about the world and ourselves by willingly putting ourselves in challenging circumstances. People in today's society tend to seek comfort and shun discomfort in any form. When it comes to ease and instant satisfaction, we usually choose for the simplest route. While this could offer short-term respite, it can impede long-term growth and keep us from realizing our greatest potential. We lose out on important chances to develop and learn about ourselves when we shy away from problems. True strength, according to Stoic philosophy, is found in the capacity to patiently and directly confront challenges. These difficulties help us grow in patience, acquire valuable lessons, and strengthen character traits like bravery, tenacity, and persistence. We restrict our intellectual and personal development when we continuously look for ease and shy away from challenges. We lose our way and don't reach our greatest potential. Stoics advise us to push ourselves beyond our comfort zones and participate in activities that challenge our limitations. We increase our capacities and gain more self-satisfaction and confidence by doing this. A fear of failing can also result from avoiding challenges. We lose out on chances to grow stronger and learn from our mistakes when we always take the easy route and steer clear of danger. The Stoic philosophy encourages us to accept failure as a necessary part of life and to use it as a teaching tool. By adopting a Stoic attitude in the face of failure, we may learn from it and utilize it to further ourselves. It's crucial to understand that wanting pain does not equate to purposefully seeking out needless misery. The Stoic philosophy forbids inflicting needless suffering on oneself. Rather, it motivates us to approach obstacles with composure and reason. It all comes down to altering our viewpoint and realizing that discomfort is a vital component of life that can spur development and personal advancement. Through proactively pursuing difficulties and discomfort, we cultivate self-mastery. We learn to depend more on our moral compass and inner fortitude than on outside events. The Stoic school of thinking encourages us to concentrate on our ideas, deeds, and responses to the difficulties we encounter. We become less reliant on other people or things to make us happy and prosperous. Stoic living can have a significant effect on our lives. It enables us to approach life patiently and with a feeling of purpose. We get stronger at handling challenges, setbacks, and unforeseen circumstances. We learn to see obstacles as chances for development and self-improvement rather than letting them overwhelm us. It is crucial that we approach this subject with an open mind and be prepared to question our ingrained habits and beliefs in order to retain a Stoic attitude and see it through. Acknowledging our inclination to shy away from difficulties and deliberately pursue discomfort can set us on the path to self-improvement and empowerment. To sum up, the tendency to shy away from difficulties hinders our capacity to develop and realize our entire potential. Stoicism offers insightful advice and useful tips on how to overcome obstacles with bravery and resiliency. Through embracing discomfort and voluntarily venturing beyond our comfort zones, we can open the door to personal growth and a more satisfying existence. Habit 4. Adopting an overly materialistic lifestyle. Seneca once stated, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Overindulgence in materialism, placing worldly belongings above moral standards, is in opposition to Stoic principles. Stoicism urges us to place more emphasis on virtues like bravery, compassion, and knowledge than on accumulating wealth. It's simple to get into the trap of excessive materialism in a world that frequently places a premium on accumulating material items and achievement, driven by the need for more, as well as the incessant need to compare oneself to others. The quest of worldly possessions can become an endless cycle. Understanding the fleeting nature of material possessions is a lesson Stoicism imparts. Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius were among the Stoic thinkers who stressed the value of internal virtues over material wealth. They held that developing virtues like wisdom, courage, and justice is the path to true happiness and fulfillment. By putting internal values ahead of external belongings, we can break the pattern of overindulging in materialism. A key tenet of Stoicism is practicing gratitude, which enables us to accept what we already have rather than always pursuing more. We can break away from the hold of materialistic tendencies by considering the transience of worldly prosperity and realizing that it does not ensure long-term happiness. Another idea that fits with Stoic philosophy is minimalism, which exhorts us to rid our lives of pointless belongings. Our material possessions become less important as we make room for a more purposeful and meaningful life. This does not imply giving up all financial luxuries. Rather, it means giving priority to the things in life that actually make a difference. Seneca emphasized the value of self-sufficiency and satisfaction in his letters to Lucilius. He advocated for developing an inner richness independent of situations outside of oneself. We escape the cycle of materialism by cultivating inner values and learning to be content with what we already have. It requires deliberate effort to withstand the lure of perpetual consumption in a culture driven by consumers. A philosophical foundation in Stoicism helps one realize how little material items may truly add to a meaningful and fulfilled existence. We can free ourselves from the never-ending chase of material prosperity and discover fulfillment in a life dictated by inner qualities by adopting Stoic principles. Habit 5. Looking for outside validation. Do not seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and your life will be serene. Epictetus seeking approval from others compromises the practice of Stoicism. The emphasis of Stoicism is on valuing one's own merits over impressing other people. Dependence on external approval diminishes one's sense of autonomy and value. The modern age of social media has made it commonplace to seek approval from others. Whether it's through likes, comments, or social status, the never-ending search for validation can undermine our sense of self and come from the persistent need for approval from others. Stoicism teaches us to develop our inner virtues regardless of what other people think. Prominent Stoic philosopher Epictetus highlighted the need of concentrating on what we can control, our beliefs, deeds, and moral principles. Seeking outside affirmation exposes us to the views and judgments of others and puts our sense of value in their hands. We have to turn inward if we want to break the habit of looking outward for approval. Self-reflection and discovering our actual ideals and principles are encouraged by Stoicism. We have a self-satisfaction that comes from acting in accordance with our virtues rather than depending on the views of others. A fundamental tenet of Stoicism is self-acceptance practice. Rather of pursuing validation from others, we acquire the ability to embrace our shortcomings and accept who we are. Seneca emphasized in his letters the value of loving oneself and the foolishness of depending on other people to make us feel good about ourselves. Moreover, mindfulness exercises might help disrupt the pattern of looking for approval from others. Through practicing self-awareness and staying in the present, we can break free from the never-ending need for validation. Stoicism teaches us to live virtuously independent of praise from others in order to find happiness and contentment in doing so. In the end, seeking approval from others is a habit that pulls us away from the central ideas of Stoicism. The Stoic teachings of self-reliance, self-acceptance, and mindfulness can help us overcome our desire for approval from others and develop a calm, contented existence. Habit 6. Unable to handle adverse feelings. He who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive. Seneca's Stoic philosophy is compromised when one gives in to negative emotions, such as jealousy, worry, or fury. Stoicism promotes emotion regulation by reason and awareness. Breaking the tendency of giving in to negative emotions can be facilitated by self-reflection, mindfulness exercises, and choosing virtue over retaliation. Adversity and difficult circumstances can elicit unpleasant emotions in people, but it goes against the tenets of Stoicism to give in to these feelings and let them control how we behave. Stoicism helps us learn to control our emotions by examining them through the prisms of virtue and reason. Renowned Stoic philosopher Seneca highlighted the value of remaining calm in the face of difficulty. Through adopting the Stoic mindset when dealing with negative emotions, we can overcome harmful patterns and develop emotional resilience. Developing mindfulness skills is essential for controlling unpleasant emotions. We can better comprehend our emotional reactions if we can stay in the present and observe our thoughts and sensations objectively. Instead of reacting rashly, mindfulness enables us to respond to circumstances with clarity and reason. Another Stoic technique that helps with negative mood management is self-reflection. We can combat the logical thinking by taking the time to investigate the fundamental reasons of our emotions and comprehending the beliefs that underlie them. Seneca frequently discussed the value of introspection and how it leads to a more moral and balanced existence in his writings. One of the main tenets of Stoicism is to choose virtue above revenge while handling unpleasant feelings. To respond with patience, understanding, and compassion is what Stoicism advises us to do instead of giving in to hatred or revenge. By placing a high value on characteristics like forgiveness and kindness, we can turn bad feelings into chances for personal development. In summary, the incapacity to manage negative emotions erodes our determination and obstructs our path to a moral existence. Stoicism provides us with useful tools to assist us negotiate the complicated terrain of our emotions, including mindfulness, self-reflection, and virtue selection. We may overcome negative emotional patterns and promote a more resilient and well-rounded way of living by incorporating these Stoic techniques. Habit 7. Thinking back on previous errors. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Seneca focusing on previous errors impedes the practice of Stoicism. Acceptance of previous actions, learning from them, and concentrating on the present are all encouraged by Stoicism. Self-forgiveness, mindfulness, and putting the knowledge you've learned from mistakes to use can help you break the cycle of thinking back on the past. One habit that can keep us from completely adopting Stoic principles is obsessing over previous transgressions. Stoicism pushes us to not get bogged down in regrets from the past, but to own up to our faults, grow from them, and live in the now. Seneca stressed in his writings the value of time and the futility of squandering it on regrets. Stoicism urges us to address previous mistakes with mindfulness, self-forgiveness, and a dedication to learning and progress, rather than obsessing on them. Developing mindfulness skills is essential to ending the pattern of thinking back on past errors. We can release ourselves from the clutches of regrets from the past by practicing mindfulness of our thoughts and feelings in the here and now. By practicing mindfulness, we can shift our attention from our thoughts to the things we can do right now and observe them without passing judgment. A fundamental Stoic principle in handling previous transgressions is self-forgiveness. Seneca was a strong proponent of forgiveness, both of oneself and of others. We can let go of shame and self-blame when we accept our fallibility and the fact that making mistakes is a normal aspect of being human. Putting the knowledge you've learned from past errors to use is another strategy to break this behavior. Stoicism exhorts us to learn from our experiences in order to advance personally. We may use that energy to make better decisions in the here and now, rather than obsessing on the negative aspects of our past mistakes. In conclusion, the Stoic emphasis on the present moment and the acceptance of our shortcomings is at odds with the tendency of thinking back on past mistakes. We can break free from this pattern and develop a Stoic mindset by combining mindfulness, self-forgiveness, and a dedication to learning. Habit 8. Failure-related fear. He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. Seneca, since it frequently results from an attachment to external outcomes, the dread of failure runs counter to Stoic beliefs. Stoicism advises us to stop obsessing over success or failure and instead to concentrate on our efforts and virtues. Our ability to accept failure with composure and see it as a chance for improvement fortifies our Stoic outlook. A typical human emotion that can impede development and run counter to Stoic philosophy is the fear of failing. Instead of obsessing over results we cannot influence, Stoicism encourages us to concentrate on our own actions, qualities, and the things within our power. The quotation from Seneca serves as a helpful reminder that dread of failing before it's necessary causes needless misery. Stoicism teaches us to embrace an attitude that prioritizes the process above the result in order to get over our fear of failing. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus highlighted the significance of differentiating between things that are under our control and those that are not. A common source of dread of failure is an obsession with outside forces that are beyond of our control. Another Stoic concept is serenity and accepting the potential of failure. Seneca thought that pain is exacerbated when we expect to fail. Stoicism, on the other hand, encourages us to live in the present and accept that most of the time, we have no direct control over whether we succeed or fail. Stoic philosophy is in line with viewing failure as a chance for personal development. Stoicism urges us to learn from losses and incorporate them into future initiatives, as opposed to seeing failure as a wholly bad result. Seneca's view on suffering before it is necessary emphasizes the Stoic notion that we are in control of how we think and react to difficulties. In summary, The dread of failing runs counter to Stoic ideals because it places too much emphasis on needless suffering and external results. We may resist this tendency and face life's obstacles with perseverance and composure by embracing a Stoic mindset that appreciates the process, acknowledges the risk of failure, and views it as a chance for improvement.